Welcome back to Fast Money. American Airlines holding a shareholder meeting today as the company looks to bounce back from a turbulent year, down nearly 30% as the entire airline industry copes with the Boeing 737 MAX grounding. Let's get to Phil LeBeau in Chicago with all the details. Phil.
And Melissa, one reason that we saw a bit of a bounce in American shares today is because Doug Parker was asked during the analyst meeting, hey, what do you think about your company? Is it undervalued? He goes, look, not only do I think American's undervalued, I think the entire airline sector is undervalued. He was also asked about the 737 MAX and whether or not they're a little too optimistic, expecting it to be back on the schedule in the beginning of September. September 3rd is the date. Here's what he had to say.
We wouldn't be selling seats today if we didn't think that was a highly likely possibility, and that's what we believe. We believe it's a highly likely possibility that the aircraft will be flying and we'll be able to provide that service by September 3rd.
Just a reminder, you've got American, Southwest, and United, all with the MAX being delayed at least somewhere in between August and the beginning of September. Now, out at the Code Conference, Ed Bastian, CEO of Delta Airlines, was asked by our Carl Quintanilla about the MAX. Even though Delta doesn't fly it, the question was, does he believe that this plane will be up and flying, let's say by September or October? Here's what Ed Bastian had to say.
I think it's probably going to be longer than anyone would like it to be. Not only with respect to the FAA and the certification issues on the airplane, I just think consumer confidence in the product's going to take a while to come back.
And what's the key to restoring that confidence? Ed Bastian, Ed Parker, everybody says the same thing in the industry. It's going to take time. It's going to take not only the executives flying the MAX when it comes back into service, but just over time, getting the public to say, okay, they've got the fix in place and everything's fine with this plane. As you take a look at the airline index, it's been a rough year, Melissa. This is, these stocks they haven't done much. I mean, a few exceptions, United being one of them, but generally speaking, it's been a rough year for the airlines.
Yeah, global growth fears and grounding of the 737 MAX, not a good combination. Phil, thank you. Phil LeBeau in Chicago for us. Brian Kelly, where do you stand on the airlines? And do you have to believe that the 737 MAX will be in flight once again by the fall in order to be an investor in some of these ones that are more exposed?
Well, that probably are more exposed. I mean, something like a Southwest, yeah, you certainly. But if I'm talking the airline sector in general, I just think you need a catalyst, and that's been my problem. These things have been coiling up. They look like they're ready for a move, but the problem is I can't identify that catalyst. Maybe it's going to be lower oil. I doubt that's really going to do it. I think the global growth concerns have just hit these, and it's going to be. I agree with Delta Airlines CEO. It's going to be a long time before before consumers are ready to get back on these planes.
But if you think about the capacity kind of tailwind, yes, there's maybe a pun intended there for this. You actually look at United. They gave us recent for May through August quarter. Basically, they're going to see year over year plus 3.5% capacity. By the way, that's something that is well in the price. At one point, pushed it down. But because of the MAX, you've actually brought that in about 30 basis points. So there's some people that think it might actually put a little bit more discipline. But most important thing for the airlines here is they trade as if we're in a recession now. So when we get the recession, does that actually perversely make it almost a trigger to the upside? Delta trades at about 9 times, which to me is a recessionary level. But as Phil pointed out, they're right in the middle of a range. I mean, they are trading stocks. And I think at 51, you buy Delta.